Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Semoskiy. Again, the non-winter version, so this is fine by me. Anyways, our heroes today are going to be ParaDox, once again, playing for the Germans. And his opponent this day is going to be Noise of Carpet, otherwise known as Slusbernik, or Slus from the Slus cast, playing for the Soviets of the Red Army. So we see Slus, or well, we'll just call him Noise of Carpet, since that's his name in the game. Getting Conscripts, like you would expect, queuing up a second one right off the bat, because, well, you now start with more manpower, so you're able to do that, so yay. And we see ParaDox getting himself tier 1, like you would expect, going for Grenadiers. So, nothing out of the ordinary, things that you would come to expect from a standard, so to say, game of Company Heroes 2. Interestingly enough, though, we see that Noise of Carpet was floating some manpower, and is only now getting himself a conscript squad. Not sure what was going on there, but well, whatever. I guess it's fine. So anyways, Noise of Carpet, I'm just going to call it Slus. It's a little bit easier for me, whatever. We're going to change that. So Slus sending his conscripts into the center of the map. We also have the Pioneers around in the center. They're trying to capture that victory point, getting themselves some heavy cover. And running around, looks like they were trying to go for the house, but they will instead just go to the church. Since the conscripts denied them that house. They are still running around in the center, potentially capping, but no, they move out of the zone, decide to forfeit that victory point in favor of keeping their lives. Grenadiers going over to the right-hand side for ParaDox. Grenadiers going to the left-hand side as well, with a third Grenadier squad following up. And the fourth unit for Tier 1 is a MG42, so very nice. Fourth conscript hitting the field for Slus, and he will send it over to the left-hand side, apparently, where another conscript squad is in waiting. So, 2 to the center, 2 to the north, I suppose. So conscripts in the center getting engaged by the Grand squad coming out of the base. Grands do jump into the house, so they will have a superior position against these conscripts. Conscripts are probably going to have fuel, I would assume. One can only assume that, sorry, I don't mean fuel, Molotovs. There you go. What I meant to say is conscripts are probably going to have Molotovs, considering that Slus has spent some fuel, and, you know, I would only assume that it was the fuel spent for the Molotovs. So the Grands evacuate the house and are running forward. They're going to jump into this house, apparently. No, they're going to stay at this strategic point and just capture the territory while fighting the conscripts at long range. MG42 sets up right in front of the base for ParaDox, opens up on those conscripts, getting them suppressed. They are trying to crawl out of its range. They do manage to crawl out and are going to jump into the house, being even more annoying and hard to dislodge. ParaDox is going to need some rifle nades maybe to try to get him out of there. Grenadiers up north jumping into the house to defend against 2 conscript squads. The conscripts will probably move up and throw a Molotov as well. Fuel point getting decapped by the conscripts, however, so they'll probably stay there for a little while until the cap goes off. In front of Slus base, we see the Grenadiers getting Molotov by another conscript squad and forced away. And we are now up to 5 conscripts for Slus, while we have 4 Grenadiers and an MG42 for ParaDox, so a little bit of a heavier investment into the Tier 1. Southern side, we see combat engineers running around capturing the fuel, while the Grants are still moving around capping territory. They did cap that fuel and apparently are going to go for the cutoff.
Brace yourselves, here comes Ivan!
Anyways, MG42 sets up, captures the point, and is opening up on the conscripts in that house. They are quite fine to shoot from there, considering that that house only has one window facing in this direction, which is great for an MG42, not so great for conscripts, because the conscripts are now going to be able to really shoot back. Only one man can shoot at a time, so the MG42 is going to be relatively, well, undamaged. Grants over here in the north end up having to retreat, very low in health, down to 2 men. Can they actually make it out alive through those conscripts? Conscripts do get into the windows and are going to not be able to take some shots, so they make it out alive just fine. And the conscripts are capturing the north, while a Pio squad sneaks behind and goes for the cutoff here, essentially cutting off Slus for the entire map, because this point is currently captured by these Grants. The conscripts are moving up to try to dislodge them. Molotov landing on the Grants. Ooh, very nice crit on 2 of them right away. Down to 2 men, forces a retreat. They are retreating through the conscript, but with another Grenadier squad coming up for support, they will be able to make it out alive at one man, but no, they're going to be fine. This other conscript squad has left the house and is now retreating, so they're fine. Very lucky there. Grants engaging the conscripts pretty much point blank, 4 on 2. The conscripts are going to lose this fight, and they decide to retreat because they notice they are losing the fight. Other conscript squad as well was already down to 2 men, so decides to retreat just as well, meeting up with the combat engineers that retreated as well because all the forces for Sloss are pretty much out of the field. We do have one conscript over on the left-hand side and a combat engineer coming out of the base, but that's about it. Back at base, do we see any tech? No tech for Sloss just yet. We do have a bunker actually. Medic bunker going to be going down for ParaDox. Wants to heal up his heavy tier 1 investment and keep it on the field as long as possible. In the meantime, we do see ParaDox pushing forward, taking the cutoff over here in the front of the base, denying this resources over here, including the fuel. And the north only really has these 2 points connected, so Sluss not really catching a break as far as income goes. Does have a lot of fuel right now, so he could lay down one of the buildings, but wouldn't be really able to get much as far as high tech. You know, you can get tier 1 and probably tier 3 after that if you wanted to go, the fast route, but wouldn't be able to produce anything from it at this point. So combat engineers and Pios duking it out at very close range. The Pios are in heavy cover, but they are getting shot by those rifles, even with their SMGs. With the following up conscript squad, the Pios will lose and have to retreat. In front of the base, we see the Grants with an LMG getting Molotovs by 3 conscript squads, although only 1 Molotov went down. Second Molotov landed in the house where the MG42 is set up. The MG42 does open up on the conscripts. Grenadier squad down to 1 man, makes it out because of the MG42, and the MG42 is now down to 2 men. Oh no, they actually get burned alive while packing up. So that MG42 is actually lost to the battlefield. Can we actually see it? Yeah, fell out of the window there, burned to a crisp. So unfortunate there for both players, but more unfortunate for ParaDox because he now lost his Pios up north and his MG42. We do see that Sluss selected his Doctrine, which is the conscript support tactics. He does have, 5 conscript squads, so that's okay. It's an okay choice. Tier 1 going down for Sluss. I'm assuming he's probably going to just be using it to tech to something else, although he doesn't really have the fuel for it, so we might see something from Tier 1. Grants over here on the left-hand side, pushing forward against 2 conscripts. One of them gets an LMG, but one of the men in that squad falls. And they are moving around, not setting up, being able to open up with that LMG. They back off, allowing the other Grenadier squad to take the brunt of the shots from the conscripts. Throw off a burst with the LMG, but back off once again. Combat engineers coming in for a little bit of a flank, but they aren't really that strong, so they won't be able to do a lot of damage. Right-hand side, we have Grenadiers and conscripts duking it out. Almost point-blank range. The conscript is now Veterancy 2. Throws some Molotovs at the Grants, but it is now down to 1 man. Now on the retreat. Can the Grants kill him? Yes, they do. So nice pickup there for ParaDox. 1 Veterancy 2 conscript squad goes down. The only Veterancy 2 squad in the game so far. And that is a very unlucky break for Sluss. Oh, it's a carpet. So the conscripts over here go for the flank and get themselves inside that house. That's an excellent position, even though they are only at 4 men. There are only 4 windows from this side, so they are able to output the same amount of damage they would if it was a full squad. Grant's now essentially surrounded by conscripts getting shot from every side. Molotov landing on 2 of the squads at the same time. The squads run through the fire, taking some damage. Nice rifle nade on one of the conscript squads. Kills 2 other men right off the bat. And the LMGs are opening up on both conscript squads, doing a lot of damage. 1 Grenadier squad retreats at 2 men, retreats through the fire, taking a little bit more damage. And the conscripts in the house will take some shots at the retreating men. Grenadier squad with an LMG pushing up against the house. Actually it's just crossing the street and just ignoring the conscripts in the house while the other Grants move up a little bit to the north and take that strategic point. Up in the furthest north, we see a Grant squad capturing the territory, and let's see, back at base, we have Pios getting produced just to replace, and probably going to be building some type of tech. So tier 2 did go down for Sluss. I don't know why I thought it was tier 1. Maybe he was building tier 1? I don't know. Anyways, tier 2 went down, and we now have a Maxim machine gun on the field for Slussbernick, so he's going to send it over to the left-hand side and probably try to defend that fuel, although it looks like they're trying to go to this lodge, the furthest north And they're going to run straight into that Grenadier Squad. Grenadier Squad will not be able to get behind the arc of fire. There goes the burst. He gets the suppression, and they end up retreating instantly. Nice reaction there from ParaDox, but quite unfortunate for him. LMG in the church, opening up on the conscripts in that house. Conscripts now down to 2 men, but again, with the houses being made out of Kevlar, they can survive a very, very long time against small arms fire. Grenadier Squad on the right-hand side, retreating down to 2 men. There is a no combat engineer squad on this side, but they won't even be able to take some shots. And the conscripts with PPSHs now on the field for Slusbernick. So small fights apparently all over the place, but nothing really major. We see these conscripts running out of the house, Uraying to the left-hand side, trying to dodge those Grents. The Grents are pursuing the conscript on its own. If he retreats, he's going to have to retreat through the path of the Grents, so this conscript squad is dead now. The Grents are dancing around the bush, and they get themselves in sight of that conscript. And that conscript squad ends up retreating and makes it out alive. Wow, that was a very, very lucky conscript. If these Grents had just simply moved a little bit further up here, they would have caught him, you know, right on the open. Even if it had retreated, he would have to retreat through the squad and would have essentially died very quickly. Rifle lane landing on where the conscripts were 2 minutes ago. The conscripts push up with PPSHs right on top of the Grents. With that PPSH, they are able to do a lot of damage. They get 40% accuracy at Veterancy 2, so they're able to hit those Grents quite effectively. And the Grents make it out alive at 2 men, themselves getting Veterancy 2, so very nice for them. Veterancy 2 gives you 40% accuracy on both Grents and conscripts, and a 25% range increase on both the rifle nade and the Molotov, so it's a nice thing to know there. Center of the map, Grents just capping around, point being taken again by ParaDox, so denying the southern territories income, that is, to Slusbernick. And we have more Grents and Pios just moving around the area, just capturing territory. Tier 3 now up for ParaDox, getting himself a Panzer IV, going for the safer route. And it is now on the field, which, well, Slusbernick doesn't really have much on the field to be able to deal with it. He can get 80 guns, and obviously 18 8s, but yeah, he doesn't have any on the field just yet. Maxim machine guns are set up to try to go for a pen, apparently, gets up in this house, but the Panzer IV moves up right on top of the Maxim machine gun and is going to try to dislodge it from that house, potentially collapsing the house on top of them if they don't move out. The conscripts do move up and are going to throw an 18-8 at the Panzer IV. No, actually? Do they? No. I think Slus might not actually have 18-8. Maxim machine gun apparently being left to die in that house, now down to 2 men, not even trying to pack up. The Panzer IV continues to shoot at them. Maxim machine gun gets the pin down on the Grenadiers in there, and there it goes, exits the house. Will it make it out alive? No, it won't. Actually, it looks like it will. No, it won't. There you go. So Maxim machine gun now out on the field, able to be capped by ParaDox. We'll see if he decides to use that for his own. And Grent's retreating in the face of a lot of conscript squads. Tier 3 also up for Slusbernick, getting himself a T-34. T-34 will be able to, you know, do an okay job against the Panzer IV, essentially keep it at bay. Nice shot there by the Panzer IV. Nails 3? Yeah, 3 of those conscripts in one shot. Very nice. Down to 2 men, forces the retreat. And yeah, I mean, aside from conscripts, there's really not much on the field right now for Slus to be able to deal with it. T-34 does hit the field now for Slus, and he will send it straight onto that Panzer IV. It needs to be a little bit defensive with it, because otherwise the T-34 will flat out lose against the Panzer IV most of the time. Right hand side, Maxim machine gun catching Grants out in the open, but the Panzer IV is going straight for the Maxim machine gun, and is he actually going to go for the crush? He should go for the crush. Nice rifle lane on top of the Maxim machine gun, and the Panzer IV is stopping in front of it, opening up, and the Maxim machine gun decides to retreat. Will it make it out alive? It is retreating. Very healthy units in that squad, and I think they'll be able to make it out alive. Yeah, they should be fine. Maxim machine gun did get taken by ParaDox, and it is now placed in the church, so it will be denying center territories. And up in the north, the conscript squad is retreating in the face of a Grand squad with an LMG. Throws a burst. No, actually gets right out of range at the last second. And Grant's capturing on the left-hand side. So very nice. AT gun getting produced for Noise of Carpet. Slusbernick, he will be able to do some good damage to the Panzer IV if it gets too greedy, but it is gonna be able to get the kill on the T-34 apparently. Well, main gun destroyed. Is he gonna go for the kill? Does have blitzkrieg enabled, and there goes the shot. There goes the T-34. AT gun on the field, moving up against the Panzer IV, but the Panzer IV with its blitzkrieg is simply gonna back off and get the hell out of Dodge. Look at that speed, that acceleration. Southern side, we have conscripts. Well, on the wrong side of the tracks. There's a Pio squad nearby and a Panzer IV and Grand squad in the way of them coming back home, but they are just simply going to stay on the field and cap. They are no cowards, or they're not going to be retreating. AT gun set up at the outside of the base, taking some shots at Grenadiers capturing territory, but they make it out alive. And we now see ParaDox getting himself the Luftwaffe supply doctrine. Very nice. I haven't actually seen this doctrine at all before, so we shall see how good it is. It gives you the ability to drop in medical supplies. You can also supply drop, and you got reconnaissance overflight, incendiary bombing run, and Stuka bombing strike. I mean, these, I suppose, are, you know, off map and the recon, but the supply drops are quite interesting. Essentially, you convert 200 manpower to 150 munitions and 50 fuel. Stolen Maxim machine gun. No, actually that was not the stolen Maxim machine gun. That was Sluss's Maxim machine gun. Pushes forward and gets rifle naded by these grants. Oh, very nice shot there by the AT gun. Nails two of the grants. Actually, only one of the grants. Hits the house, but one of the grants does not die. Maxim machine gun gets cleared out once again by the grants, and the combat engineer ends up getting executed. We see a supply drop up north, and these guys, these grants are going to be capturing it. Like I said, that's going to give him 150 munitions and 50 fuel, which means he can use that to start producing tanks and even using the bombing runs. Munition supplies drop right here. We have a conscript squad nearby that could actually steal the the resources, but no, it looks like they're just simply content with fighting and going for the cap. More supplies getting dropped. Is Sluss actually going to go for the cap of what, you know, steal one of these supplies? No, not just yet. More supplies getting dropped. The conscripts are now in position to be able to take one. And this is a munition supply drop. Grenadiers jump out and are going to go get those supplies in the face of the conscripts. No? Well, down to one man on those conscripts. They do retreat. 2 men left on the Grenadier squad. Can they execute it? Only one man can shoot. And the conscript makes it out alive, just barely. So the munitions are left there. No, there he goes. He actually notices and is going to go pick it up. And more supplies are actually getting dropped. So, wow. It is 5 supply drops, so it takes a little while, but oh well. Flag Panzer now getting called onto the field. So a little bit of a combined tank arms. And conscript at 1 man retreating in the face of the Panzer IV. I don't think he's going to be able to make it out alive. The machine gunner on top is shooting at the conscript. Coaxial as well. Oh, wow, barely makes it out alive. Very lucky there. And more drops continue to fly by. Wow. Pio sneaking behind enemy lines, apparently. And grants in the center. So sorry I missed that. I just wanted to actually see the drop because I hadn't actually seen it before. Oh, okay, so I think he actually called it another one. That's why more keep dropping. So, yeah, I mean, essentially you're converting 200 into 200, but into munitions and 50 fuel. So, very nice. It allows you to, you know, speed up your fuel income. So the Flak Panzer heads straight into the center and is wrecking the conscripts. Conscripts were trying to retreat, but the Flak Panzer is right on top of them. The Flak Panzer might be able to clear them off, but we do have a T-34 on the field. Flak Panzer and Panzer IV right set up to beat that T-34. T-34 will lose this fight very easily. And it backs off now into the support of its AT gun. The Flak Panzer pushes forward, will take a nasty shot by the AT gun if the AT gun sets up in time. AT gun does not set up in time. Ram goes down on the Panzer IV right in front of the AT gun. This is an incendiary bombing run falling right on top of everything. Very nice move there by ParaDox. Gonna burn alive that AT gun crew and the Maxim machine gun is forced to retreat. So the Panzer IV is still alive, needs to move out of the area and get some repairs. So the Flak Panzer is now essentially unopposed. Gonna get an 18A to the face, getting straight on the engine. But it will wreck these conscripts if they don't retreat. No AT gun on the field right now for Sluspernick, Noise of Carpet, and he is getting wrecked with those conscripts. Conscript retreating at 2 men back at base. The Flag Panzer will not risk going into the enemy base. He will probably just try to take out that bunker because of the damage engine. Veterancy 1 also acquired. T-34 getting produced for Slutvernick. And ParaDox just continues to drop supplies up in the north to those Grenadiers. It is a thing that it says here, cargo planes fly over a designated fuel or munitions point. So you can't drop it anywhere. It has to be either fuel or munitions. So considering this point is the closest to his base, it's a very nice point to leave it on. So yeah, I mean, that's why he's dropping them there. Very nice. Another incendiary bombing run getting called in for ParaDox because, well, he's getting 150 munitions every time he uses this ability. And this thing costs 120, so he can, you know, afford to cast it, you know, as often as he wants to. Look at that. It's 200 munitions already. It is one of the lesser seen doctrines right now because everybody's a little bit too excited with the elite troops, but this one is pretty strong as well. I mean, it reminds me of the the airborne, but now this is a bad spot for ParaDox. Gets caught with his Panzer IV and the Flag Panzer out of position by a T-34. The Panzer IV is getting repaired. We see a bombing strike getting called in, but yeah, he used both abilities in the zone, try to deny, you know, the AT gun and try to nail that T-34, but he misses with the bombing run, and the T-34 kills off the Panzer IV. So ParaDox in a little bit of a tough position, needs a little bit more fuel to be able to call another Panzer IV and fight off against this T-34. Faust goes off on the T-34, getting damage on the engine and some good damage on the actual tank itself. But there isn't much on the field right now for ParaDox to be able to deal with it. He continues to move around, just using the ability to, you know, bomb everything to to be able to go and clear out the weapons. Grenadiers pushing forward against that AT gun. Will they be able to clear it out? We might see a rifle nade. No, we won't. Grants are trying to go for the decap here, but the Conscripts move into the zone right at the last second and deny the decap at that point. Rifle nade landing on the AT gun clears it out, but with the Conscripts in the zone, they will be able to take it back very quickly, and the Grand Squad ends up getting executed in the process. An unfortunate turn of events there for ParaDox, but he is getting himself another Panzer IV with the fuel drops. And, well, we'll be able to fight off that T-34. T-34 backs off into the protection of his units, and the AT gun does get recruited by those conscripts. Southern side for ParaDox, he has Grants just capturing territory, going for the victory points. Victory points is a really slow game at this point. 407 still left for ParaDox and 317 left for Slutvernick, which means, you know, it's anybody's game at this point. Incendiary barrage falling right on top of the conscripts trying to go for the cutoff, and they are forced away, so the territories remain in the possession for ParaDox. And yeah, that's very nice. I mean, it is, well, what this ability is allowing him to do, which, yeah, I mean, I agree where they say that it's a little bit OP, but, well, we'll see if any changes are made to it. It takes a while, I suppose, to balance these things out, but I would assume that we'll probably see a higher cost in the manpower. Either a higher cost manpower or a lesser amount of return resources. So Panzer IV heads straight into the center, runs into the recruit AT gun. The AT gun is not set up to shoot at it, needs to turn its gun to be able to face the Panzer IV. Panzer IV nails it with one nice shot and manages to clear out the crew, and also shoots at the gun itself, destroying it. Ram goes out on the T-34, nails the Panzer IV once again, and the Panzer IV now has a damaged engine and a destroyed main gun. T-34, however, does get its engine destroyed, and it gets immobilized, so it is a sitting target. A sitting duck that will die. Veterancy 3 Grants against Veterancy 3 Conscripts. PPSHs against LMG. The LMG is ripping apart the Conscripts because, well... Okay, so a bombing strike falls right on top of the T-34 and collapses the church. It does some damage to the T-34, but... well, a lot of damage to it, but it doesn't actually kill it. Interesting. Maxim machine gun trying to engage the LMG Grants. The LMG Grants are wrecking the Maxim machine gun. Now down to 2 men, down to 1. It is going to get cleared out. There we go. And the conscripts will probably have to recruit if they want to save that weapon. But it looks like that's not going to happen. Molotov landing in the house, down to 1 man. Going to have to retreat. He just cannot lose the Oh, he's actually going to lose the Veterancy 3 guy. Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. Retreats, and... Ooh, very lucky. The Conscripts were moving to the point in a move order, so they did not take the shots. Conscripts moving up to the north, and they're going to run straight into the supply drops. Will they be able to intercept them? Well, there is a point right there. Munitions were stolen by Slusbernick, and the Pio decide to retreat, so the ability has run out. So he's not going to be using it anymore at that point so far. So it was a good run, but it is now over.
You can teach an old dog.
Did get himself the Panzer IV that is currently getting repaired. Another bombing strike right here. Ooh, very nice hit. Clears out that T-34, almost clears out the Conscripts. And we also saw an incendiary barrage getting right on top of the Grens, but the Grens managed to dodge that quite easily. It's a very... This Doctrine is nasty. It's constant pressure. Jesus. I mean, just simply being able to call in these guys, you know, non-stop, that's pretty strong. So Grant's catching a brand new AT gun out of position. Slusbernick now down to 3 Conscripts, and ParaDox as well down to 3 Grenadiers. The Maxim machine gun is still left here on the field. Will Slus actually capture it? No, he decides to actually just keep on capturing points, trying to reconnect territories. Like I said, victory point-wise, 385 to 278. So again, anybody's game at that point. Still pretty even. And the Panzer IV is heading back onto the field after getting repaired. So good for him.
This is a nice spot of land, and it is ours.
A little bit of a lull here. We do have these Conscripts over here getting retreated by the Grens. Are the Grens actually going to take the Maxim? I don't know. I don't think they will. Artillery barrage getting called, or well, getting used by the AT gun. Trying to dissuade Grenadiers that might have been there. I don't know. Not actually hitting anything. Panzer IV over here on the left-hand side. We do have the Conscripts that stole one of the munition drops. Over here on the north, there is a 2 Pio squads moving up to the north. They're going to try to capture that victory point and the munitions as well. While the Panzer IV is probably going to move in to engage the Conscripts themselves, tying them up, engaging them, and forcing them to, well, not react to the territory being captured. And we can only assume that ParaDox is going to continue his dropping of resources in this sector. We haven't actually seen the medical supplies. It says units will instantly heal and fight harder, so I don't know how much of an effect it has, but it's an okay ability. But well, we haven't seen anything to this point. Panzer IV getting rushed by the Conscripts, goes the 18-8, and they get the crit on the engine. AT gun taking some shots at the Panzer IV, actually nails it on the side armor, down to about 75% health. And there goes the incendiary barrage right on top of everything once again. The Grens also getting caught in the blast, forced to retreat, and the AT gun will get cleared off once again. Second Panzer IV now on the field for ParaDox. Well, second, you know, available. I forget now how many have been produced, but with this one with a damaged engine, and the supplies keep getting dropped over here in the north. It's just the constant influx of both munitions and fuel, especially considering that ParaDox has not actually held the fuels, you know, all the time. So very nice. Oh, nice shot there by the Panzer IV. The brand new Panzer IV kills itself a Conscript squad, and Slus is now in a very tough position. Tier 4 did get produced for Noise of Carpet, Slusbernick, and he's getting himself an Su-85. A fine choice, I would say. He should be able to deal with the Panzer IVs. Even both of them, if he can manage it properly, like in this choke point. But there's always that bombing run he has to worry about. So it isn't an easy situation by any means. And he only has 2 Conscripts left on the field, so yeah. AT gun does get recruit, so that'll help him out a little bit, but yeah, I mean, the Conscripts are just... well, we'll check it if he calls in another one. He's probably going to call in another one, I would assume. Yeah, there he goes. I actually want to see if these planes give you sight vision. No. Okay, well, at least there's that. Would have been a little bit broken if they just provide you a line of sight where they pass. So, ParaDox, quite in a an okay situation. Incendiary barrage falling right in front of the base, forcing that AT gun to pack up and move out of the way. Does move out quite handily and makes it back out alive. Su-85 sets up on the other side of the lake, trying to hold its position. And the Panzer IV is sitting right now in the center of the map, just guarding the Garants that are capturing territory. Payo's moving around, trying to capture more territory, more supply drops getting dropped, munitions and everything.
Pioneers!
Munition drop. So the Su-85 moves over to the left-hand side, supported by Conscripts. So this is essentially a last push for Semoskiy. He is trying to go to the left-hand side to, well, break stuff. Su-85 backs off, taking some shots at the Panzer IV. So Panzer IV takes a shot from the Su-85. Second shot goes in, brings it down to about half health, and the Payos are nearby and should be able to actually get repairs going. Su-85 looks like it got its focus sight activated, being able to shoot from very long range, hitting those Panzer IVs, but it is very slow in the movement. Grenadiers move up and will be able to get a Faust off on the Su-85. Su-85 now crippled, needs to unclick its ability, but with the damaged engine will not be able to withstand the advance of both Panzer IVs. And yeah, that was the slight mistake there by Luftwaffe. Oh, and it gets abandoned. Wow, that's even better. Jesus. Talk about not catching any breaks, right? So the Su-85 gets cleared off. Sluss is capturing the center with his AT gun and his conscripts, just trying as much as he can to, you know, do stuff. ParaDox actually executes the Su-85 carcass or shell. He decides, you know, I don't actually want it. It's inferior to my tanks. I can get my own tanks and build a third Panzer IV, which will be far better. And an incendiary barrage is getting called in on this Maxim machine gun. Maxim machine gun gets almost nailed in the face by that bomb. Wow, that's cutting it close. But Semoskiy, Noise of Carpet, decides to call it quits, and that is it. So very nice. I like seeing this Doctrine. It is quite strong. I dare say even stronger than that Tiger Ace squad that Tiger Ace that a lot of people are very fond of right now. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.